Good morning, YouTube. Actually, it's not really morning at all. It's about 1 o'clock, but I'm just having my coffee now, my Boba Fett coffee mug, and so it's technically morning to me. It's morning in that I am only doing that now. I'm glowing like a son of a bitch. I got, I'm in my dining room as opposed to where I usually record, and there's light coming in, and I look like glowy. Hold on, let's see if this helps. A little less glowy if I go this way. Maybe this way. A little better. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of glare. Anyway, so the video that I did last night, I don't think my rage was captured properly. I don't just kind of dislike Avatar. I really fucking hate Avatar. I hate it because of how lazy I feel a lot of it is. And I've been getting in arguments with people about it because everybody, like, I feel like that everybody's become a Avatar pod person, whereas they have heard people say, this movie is groundbreaking, and all of a sudden they're like, this movie is groundbreaking, and, like, they've just taken for granted that it's a good movie. And I'm just like, but it, like, if you look at it and if you watch it, it's not, like, at all. Like, it isn't a good movie at all. And again, like I said in the, like, I know I'm going to repeat myself and say a lot of things that I said in the other video, and hopefully what I will say will encompass one video, but probably two, because I have a lot of different things that I want to say about this. Sip. What everybody keeps telling me is, but these are effects that we've never seen before. This is, like, we've never seen this stuff before. Like, this planet is so cool, and we've, like, never seen it before. And, like, the jungle, and, like, the kitty cats, and, like, the stuff. And I'm like, meh. Most of the way that the jungle battle shots were actually, I can't even say filmed, because it was 90% of it was made inside a fucking computer. The way that the shots were set up were like rip-offs of Platoon, or there was just too much stuff in the scene, and it was that kind of Transformers, let's just shove as much shit as we can so that nobody could see what the hell's going on. And it's just like, to me, that, like, those things are so amateur as far as filmmaking goes. And also the fact that, like, oh, but, like, this is, like, the best CG characters ever. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure Gollum was much better looking. And the difference between kitty cat people in their own little CG world and Gollum is the fact that he had to be lit to match the lighting on the sets, which is an infinitely more difficult thing than telling a computer to light everything with a light source from here, and that, like, there's programs that will do that for you. You don't have to really, you know, it's so much more, the whole thing is so fucking lazy. Last night in his little acceptance speech, James Cameron saying all this shit about, like, oh, we're all connected and shit. And maybe this movie will remind us that we're all connected and everything, and the stuff that's really important. And I think one of the things that he was just completely not able to pull off in this movie was what I think his basic thesis of the whole film was, which was this connectivity and all this shit. And one of the reasons was because he never really decided what he wanted this connectivity to be. And on the one side, he made it really fucking literal. Like, in a really, they can literally connect to each other with their ponytalia. And it's like, well, I could put my hair dick into this horse's hair gina, and then I can ride it, and it'll obey my commands, except for when I crash it, even though they explained to me I'd be able to ride it as if it were myself. And the other thing about the whole movie is that, like, clearly it's borrowing from a sort of Native American tribal culture kind of thing, and which I thought was incredibly insulting in the way that it was like, oh, well, like, all of this stuff takes us a really long time to do, but this jerk off from Bumblefuck USA, who's clearly more advanced and awesome than us, even though he doesn't really give a shit, can come in and do everything like 10 times better than any of the rest of us, and basically completely take over our tribe, completely ruin our traditions and our society, and make it his own because he's so fucking awesome. But yeah, the whole being connected to this planet, and the fact that first they want to establish that the planet is this ultimate symbiotic kind of creature, that it's all interconnected because it's really all one. But in a literal scientific sense, in a literal, all of these things have the ability to connect and interact in that way. Then later on in the movie, we have the part where Sully is praying in front of the big tree, Gaia mother thing, and is like, I don't know if you can hear me, even though I just connected my shit into your shit, but like right before the big battle, and he's like, I really hope that you could help us out here and shit. And then the kitty cat lady comes in and is like, oh, well, she's not gonna take sides because of the fact that she protects all life. And it's like, fuck that. If it was if this was a purely spiritual thing, that it was a Earth Mother deity kind of a thing, that would kind of make sense. However, you have made it very clear that this is a biological connection that is a literal connection between these different organisms that live on this planet. So, basically it's one giant organism. And that giant organism is not going to protect shit that is trying to fuck it up. When other organisms try to come in and blast it and set it on fire and chop it to pieces, it's gonna fucking fight back, which eventually in the movie it does, but it gives it this like weird like, oh well, I'm not helping you because of the fact that I'm just gonna kill shit that's trying to kill me. I'm gonna help you because you guys are clearly the good guys. Bullshit. It's like you can't have it both ways. Your storytelling doesn't make sense if you're gonna do it like, well, it's a spiritual thing, but it's also a biological thing. It's like the fucking Metachlorians is what it really is. It's like, oh well, the Force is like this benevolent thing and it controls us and it's very spiritual, it's very zen, but it actually doesn't have anything to do with that because it has something to do with a microorganism in your blood. Thank you, James Cameron. Not only have you made a shitty movie, but you've made a shitty movie that rips off other shitty movies. Really? And I mean, that's the thing, like, everybody's like, oh, but the scenes in the jungle, it's like, I've never seen that before, and animals like this before, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen them on Naboo. Remember that scene when fucking, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are running away from the big mecha thing that's coming after them through the woods, and there's like 8 billion weird-looking animals? That's what Pandora is. Pandora is that jungle on Naboo, with some other crazy shit thrown in for the hell of it, and some weird animals that are kind of like other weird animals that I've seen before. It's because of these things that I don't understand why people are getting so batshit crazy about it. But my time's almost up. I'm going to do a part 2 of this particular video, so just hold on. I will be right back. Peace.